what can you see is like, one, the biggest overlap between the Christianity that you were raised in and the Muslim ideology and belief system that you resonate with more now? You see the overlaps, and why did you choose what you chose? You were buried in the sand for an hour, and I read the caption on it, but I was absolutely enthralled and so curious and really like personally interested. But can you tell me a little bit about what that experience was and how it came to you?
I lost my mother 2 months before I did my first experience 2 years ago.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
And I was in a very bad state. You know?
I absolutely love just things like that in general in life, that it's like where we meet our edges and we're pushed to that limit and we have to face it to get to the other side.
I was training with the Russian Special Forces for some time, you know. And one of the training, they blindfold you, they make you believe that they're gonna hit the shit out of you, hit the crap out of you, eat you very strongly, you know.
Okay.
And you are just here standing in a cold gymnasium surrounded by people who promise you to punch you, kick you, push you, and just waiting for this to happen, and it doesn't happen.
In that space as well, did you feel the connection to your soul? Did you feel a connection to a higher power? Did you feel a connection to source? And like, did that come through at any of those moments or experiences? What is the part of you that gets to decide what thought to kind of grab onto and what thought to like control into a different path? Welcome to Beyond the Physical, a podcast that uncovers the secrets to tapping into the world beyond form to thrive in life and business. I'm your host, Sitara Fe, a world-renowned psychic medium, quantum business coach, and your guide on this journey beyond the physical. Each episode will dive into spiritual insights, intuitive wisdom, and practical strategies to help you discover your personal greatness. Please feel free to find me on Instagram and YouTube at sitara.speaks for daily connection. Thank you for joining us, and let's get started. Hello, and welcome to Beyond the Physical podcast with me, your host, Sitara Fe. I'm here with Allaoua in Dubai. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Hi, Sitara. Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Absolutely. So, being that we're here and a lot of the people who are listening have never met you, what are some of the things that are in the top of your heart and top of mind that you would like to share so that we can get to know you pretty quickly?
Honestly, there's a lot of things to say because my journey is getting long now. It's been 10 years since I'm into the yoga, healing, the empowerment of people. Basically, in a nutshell, I'm a former businessman that had a heart attack and that decided to dedicate his life, my life, to first empowering myself physically, emotionally, intellectually, by learning more, and spiritually by trying to understand things and share this with others. And this is what I'm doing now. I'm empowering people.
Amazing.
Through many aspects. So I have a very unusual, story, and I guess this is what
we're here. Yeah, that's what we're here to share. So just basic foundation. Where did you grow up? Where did you come from?
I'm coming from France.
Amazing.
A small city next to Paris called Fontainebleau. It's a lovely city, and it's funny you ask because I was talking with one of my clients yesterday, talking about childhood. He's from Russia, so he grew up in St. Petersburg, and I was telling him, I guess I had the best childhood that a kid can have, with the right dose of trouble, with the right dose of blessings, with the right dose of learning. With the right dose of girlfriend, of fights, of troubles, school. So, and I have two boys, 6 and 3. And for example, living in Dubai, usually the school is far from where you live. I choose a school where my kids can walk, even at the early age. So for me, it was one of the condition to grow kids in an unusual city like Dubai, where kids have drivers, and I want them to start, learning and be independent at the early age, just walking to school. And I was figuring out that my childhood was amazing, really. So yeah, I grew up in Fontainebleau, which is one of the last royalist city in France with Versailles. So it's really good balance between modernity and tradition. And I grew up in a Christian school, even if I am Muslim. So I think from the early beginning, I was really passionate to understanding others and try to compare what makes sense, what doesn't. That's it. After I went to Paris right after my A level. And I started business schools. So I have a BBA and 2 MBAs, BBA in UCI in California, and MBA, one in l'Institut Supérieur de Commerce de Paris, the Superior Institute for Business in Paris, and one in China. Project management and marketing and branding, basically. That's my background.
That's quite a combination for sure. Wow. I absolutely love this. And, good on you for finding a way for your kids to find a safe space and a place to be independent, to be able to walk. I'm sure that search wasn't even easy. So I love to hear that.
I chose the house because of the school. So the plan was already made. Right. Even before I had school, I had kids. So it was I think I had a vision on that.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud. I taught my son to do bicycle without the supporting wheel.
Yes.
And now he's going to school on a bicycle with no wheels, with his backpack and his caps. And I love this.
And this is a 3-year-old? This is a 6-year-old?
Yeah, he's turning 6 next month.
Amazing. Oh, that's so cute. Did you always know you wanted to be a dad?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, clearly.
I've gone back and forth.
no, it's important. Yeah, clearly. I feel I'm just kind of following my journey, my destiny. Everything that I'm doing now, I knew I was doing that before somehow.
How long before?
It's in the early age. It's really funny.
Interesting.
I knew I will live in a foreign country. I knew I'm a family man. I knew I'll do something unique or trying to focus on something that no one can do somehow. I still feel, of course, I am still the beginning of my journey, especially 10 years is not that much.
I resonate with that very much.
But still, I feel there's so much to explore, and I don't know exactly where it's going to lead me, but I'm in transition. I mean, we're all in transition. We never arrive until we die, sadly. But there is, as a cycle, I would say I am on my 3rd cycle.
Okay.
I'm actually starting my 4th cycle, I guess.
So how would you define a cycle?
Your interest and what makes you vibrate, what makes you wake up in the morning.
So it's something new that really shifts in your life. Okay.
Yeah, I guess every individual needs something new. See, I was dealing exporting luxury cosmetics in Dubai for 6 years. Then I was a fashion designer for another about 6 years. Now I'm teaching yoga mainly for 8 years, and I'm switching now more into motivational speaker. So a wider, scoop.
Yes.
So I have new verticals as well. So it's I was kind of a businessman who become a freelance, a healer, some regards, and going back into business as well, but with different way to do it. So it's I
resonate with that a lot.
Yes. Going, exploring, do what you can.
Yes.
That's funny. Now, see, just little, interludes, between bracket last time. See, there's a thing when people ask you, what do you do?
Yeah.
Right, this is very classic. When you want to pick up a girl, you ask where you're from. It's and when you want to evaluate someone to see if the person can be profitable for you or no, basically you try to evaluate the level of income of the person, right? So that's why I ask, what do you do? And it was very hard for me to answer this question.
Right.
And for the past few years, because what do you do? Okay, I teach yoga, but at the same time I work to government, but at the same time, so it's really hard to position myself.
Right.
And last time I found, I think, the right answer, and this will be my answer.
It clicked. All right. What do you do?
What I can. I do what I can.
There you go. I've said that many times, and
but it's funny because everyone do what they can, basically.
Some days it's the best I can. Sometimes it's moderate.
And you can also select, a lot of people with that. I do what I can. So you have the one who understand that and the one who don't, and probably waste of time anyway.
Yeah, I've never actually really liked the question, "What do you do?" And I understand, and networking and that sort of thing. You want to figure out what people can do, and so that maybe you can align and help, or that sort of thing. But for me, it's it's so much deeper, the resonance for me of what that question is. It's also who are you in the world? What is your role? You know, who have you been? I've always been very curious with origin stories. You mentioned something that I want to open the door on a little bit about being raised Christian, or you said you went to Christian school even though you were Muslim, and I was raised Christian, but my big question was like, why are we focusing so much on where we go when we die? My big question was like, how did we get here? And, you know, sperm meeting egg was not enough for me. It's like, there's so much more, which now my vocation, you know, is helping people access what I call soul memories. It's like, let's actually tap into that consciousness that has been infinite for so long. But it's also spurred so much curiosity about different belief systems and why certain people believe what they believe, and also sharing notes and kind of seeing where there's overlaps. So what can you see is like, one, the biggest overlap between the Christianity that you were raised in and the Muslim ideology and belief system that you resonate with more now? You see the overlaps, and why did you choose what you chose?
And you can add a third one, because being a yoga master instructor since many years, and Bhagavad Gita and all the spiritual side of yoga, the Bhakti yoga and the Raja yoga, all the spirituality, I'm very sensitive to that as well.
Yes.
Well, I think you have to dissociate a few things, you know.
Yeah.
Beliefs and faith, it's something very hard to speak about.
Yes.
Like, you know, all the other things more had to do with tradition, cultural. Like, I think religion is really has to do with your tradition. You know, it's very hard to change religion and to go from one to another. I'm not saying it's impossible, because you can resonate, definitely. But faith is something. So maybe religion will be the words you put, or the practice that you put to resonate with your faith, with your beliefs.
Like the ceremony and the tradition that's involved.
I
like
the
that.
tradition, like you have to do this. For example, now we are, like, I'm fasting because this is like Ramadan. So the thing, I always do what I understand.
Right.
If I don't understand something, it's hard for me to follow. Really. And I understand a lot in Islam. So I even feel I kind of reconverted, because, you know, since I'm doing yoga, I haven't been so much into Islam.
Right.
Because it's awakened in me the spirituality and the connection that I didn't have when I was a kid.
Right.
To believe, you don't need this to be true. Right? That's the first statement. A believer doesn't care about the existence of God or not. It's a bet. You believe. Even if someone prove you it exists, I don't care. And someone prove you that doesn't exist, I either don't care. I believe.
Right.
So that's why faith it's absolutely something. It's very hard to discuss faith. You know, how you can put words on something so great, you know, a connection that you can even understand yourself. So how you want to explain? You know? So this has to do more with the experience. Everything else, I think. It doesn't. I'm not saying it's not matter, but it's not that important. You know, the way you pray is not important. For me, Islam makes a lot of sense, pretty much on every aspect, and especially since I'm doing yoga. Because, for example, there's so much parallel. When you pray as a Muslim, you pray on the mat, on the carpet. You practice yoga on the mat. So you need this zone that you have to define for your mind to actually focus better. So it's a sort of thing. You know. You're asking about how they like overlap. I think it's only bridges. I don't see much separation into religion, to be honest. I see more the bridge. See, it's always easier to see, oh, you are Jewish, you do that. I'm Muslim, I do that as well. Oh, you're Christian, but you actually do that. See, I call it Ramadan, you call it like Yom Kippur, and you're calling, Carême. So, but still, we're fasting, so we're still doing for our health, and also to understand what is the sacrifice, you know, especially in the modern civilization, it's very hard to sacrifice, you know. We've
gotten very comfortable.
Yeah, too much. Yeah, so we need to have the Wi-Fi. Like not having Wi-Fi is sacrifice. No, and not eating. It's also, you know, remind you that this is, some people don't eat, so you can sacrifice a little of your comfort. So it's only bridges. I don't see really split into region.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've asked so many questions about this because I am very curious about what really keeps like mass groups of people kind of in one school of thought or one train of thought. And what I find is very interesting is when we find people that have the blinders on and they don't, like that curiosity isn't there. It to me that alone has inspired a lot of curiosity for me because I'm very much concerned about the why. Why does somebody believe in this way? What has happened in their life that has led them into this path? And humans are they're so fascinating to me on so many different levels.
Yeah, I feel you.
And the connection really to for me, it is that light within, and that's what I find is like very similar in that it is the light, that there is the connection, that there is a higher power, that there is, just something that is beyond the physical, beyond what we can, tangibly feel with our five senses.
That's actually very interesting. I mean, you're speaking about like some different aspect. One of the aspect is like the belief, the people who believe, who have religion, and the people who don't. There is a very big discrepancy. But I think it's a lot of people that don't believe, they actually feel what's happening. I give you an example: the moon, for example. Like lately, I was talking with an astrologist. And we had this conversation about like, the fire sign are doing this, the water sign are more like this, how to motivate them in a company, how you can know this one is maybe an air sign because, and we were with another friend who said, I don't believe in this. Like, you don't need to believe in this. This is the reality. It happened.
Right.
I look at the moon, and the tilt,
Right.
Like the moon is influencing daily the level of water. It's attracting water. It's actually the molecule
even
of
just
water.
The tides, right? We can see this. We can measure it.
Definitely. So I don't mean like you'll be blind if you don't want to see.
Yeah.
Now you speaking about people who have only
the blinders. Yeah.
I don't think the problem is the religion on that or the beliefs or the non-belief. I think it's them. You can have blinders all your life. You can decide to remove them. You can have people who help you remove them. Yeah, that's why, the role of a mentor or guru or teacher of yoga. What's guru mean? You know the meaning of guru? Literally in Sanskrit?
Tell me.
Gu mean the darkness and ru mean the lights. A guru is someone who helps you switch from darkness to light. So from don't see anything to start seeing everything,
Right.
So it's a journey. It's part of it.
Yeah.
Meditation is your stronger guru.
Yes.
It helps you see by yourself.
Absolutely. So I had a bit of an interesting journey in that way, is that I was raised predominantly Christian, went to Christian church camps, read the Bible quite a bit, and then my abilities started coming on very strong when I was about 9 years old, and then even more so when I was about 14, and it became like a thing that I needed to focus on, but I didn't have the support in my life. And so I just kind of tried to numb it and push it away with drinking and tried to like suppress it. And ultimately it got to a point really in my life where I either had to choose what was happening within me, which was these abilities and this heightened sensitivity to energy and the clairvoyance and all sorts of things that within the Christian religion was like not allowed. And so it kind of came to a point where even within my community or my family was like, okay, well, I'm either going to have to choose what's going on with me and self-explore or choose to continue to stay by this faith that says I can't have this, which I believe my abilities are innate, they're God-given. And so it led me to a very, very interesting journey of understanding why people believe certain things and where is, like, we say the blinders, but last time you did this, it was almost like the metaphor is really, it's not even necessarily what are we afraid to see, but it's also like, is our heart closed? Because it's the compassion of just human to human resonance, of human to human journey that for me goes so far beyond what is a belief system? What were we raised in? Oftentimes based on where we're born. And so it was almost like having that kind of rejection in my life from a place where I found so much solace, kind of birthed this new connection for me and being able to see things from a different perspective that this is actually the first time I'm even having this insight as to how that would have shifted my perspective to a different level of openness. And it came through having to accept what was going on within me. Otherwise it would have made me go crazy. I would have, I'm sure, been psychologically diagnosed in some way, shape, or form. But ultimately, it was recognizing that what was happening was I was very gifted in it and am ultimately.
So you just accepted it, yeah?
Well, just accepting it is a short way to put it. There was a lot of different layers for me of understanding, one, psychologically what's happening, because I got my degree in psychology specifically because I wanted to understand what was going on in my family, but also what was going on within me. And I found that psychology only focused on mind and body. They completely left out. So they would say that schizophrenia or multiple personality disorder, schizophrenia specifically, was like they didn't really have an explanation for it, and so they would just put somebody on lithium and put them in a home, and then that was it for the rest of their life. There was no cure. But even at that stage for me, I was in my early 20s, I was looking at it going, well, this is clearly a spiritual ailment. This is clearly an entity kind of situation going on in this in the mind of somebody, but it's beyond that. Multiple personality disorder. It's multiple personalities, literally multiple spirits that are sharing the same body based on like a fault line of trauma that happens in their energetic composition. And so that was really where I kind of not necessarily lost faith in the system of psychology, but I was craving something more. I was like, there's something more going on here. And so I kept exploring. And so then, in my early 20s was when I found my way to a meditation class that ended up being psychic kindergarten. And that psychic kindergarten was like jumping on a bike I didn't know I knew how to ride. And it started answering all the questions that I had. And I literally haven't looked away. I've been doing it ever since.
That's interesting. You see, when I was studying, because see, what kept me to yoga isn't actually yoga, it's the understanding of human through the anatomy. So I'm passionate by the body and all the system, actually.
Right.
All the system and how the system are working together, because we are just systems, cardiovascular system, endocrine system, immune system, nervous system, breathing system, digestive system. You can summarize a human by a galaxy of interlaced system. Right?
Okay.
On the physical level.
Right.
And you study psychology, and for example, the fascia. It's something that it's quite recent. I mean, the understanding of the fascia and how to deal with fascia. The fascia is all the, I like to call it the emptiness into the body, basically all the web, mix of water, fat, tissues that keep all the connective tissues together. So the connective tissue, we know the muscles, the ligament, the tendons, the joints, the cartilage. But fascia is all the rest, is the flesh, basically,
Okay.
And it looks like a spider web,
Right.
So it connecting everything. So if you understand the fascia in biomechanics, you understand pretty much everything.
Right.
And back in the days, on the 10s, 20s, they were thinking that the trauma, for example, after the First World War, whoever coming back from this horrible war, they got a little bit crazy. And this is how they try to understand or design protocol with Sigmund Freud, for example, how to create or help them.
Right.
But they thought the mind was broken, but it wasn't actually the mind. The mind was just a consequence of it. Later, just recently, maybe 20 years ago, 30 years ago, so it's really recent, they understood that the trauma was actually stored into the fascia, so it's physical. So the limit of psychotherapy, for example, is like you're healing only the mind.
Right.
And at some point, you have to take some drugs to help, because, especially if someone is in deep depression or doing split personality or very bad anxiety,
right,
you need chemical to help. On the early stage, if you stretch your body and if you breathe and you inject oxygen during the stretching into the fascia, it removes physically the trauma from the body.
Right.
And who understood that? The Russian special forces. The way they train the Spetsnaz, they remove fear from the body physically. So the body is not scared anymore. So it can go to war, it can fight for hours. And, traditionally.
Right.
It's actually coming from the 10th century.
Okay.
Legendary soldier called Bugateri. It's a Cossack from the 10th century who were fighting like one soldier was 20 of other, nations, and so they
that's
kept
really
this,
interesting. I'm like seeing so much as you're saying
it's
this.
a bit like the Vikings, like the Russian Vikings, so they create techniques with, instead of blade, they had a whip like Nagayaka, because they understood the frequency and the movement. Instead of trying to cut and break, they were using, they were like chopping heads by dozens, just because of the whip. So they understand movement.
Yeah.
So they understand that power is coming from movement, not from strength.
Right.
Because if your power, it's connected to your strength, when the strength disappear, your power disappear. Right? So that means if you're very strong, you can lift something. If something is too heavy, you won't be able to lift, right? But if your power is coming from movement, then it's illimited. As long as you can move, you can generate power.
Okay.
So this is, how it's coming. So movement use the fascia a lot, So it's called the kinetic. See? So the myofascia and the kinetic chain, if you control that, you control everything. And yoga, on the physical form, this is what it does. A lot of yoga teachers won't go there. They will just maybe repeat asanas and flow. But just the word flow of vinyasa, one breath, one flow, means merging your breathing with your movement.
Right.
So you can generate a lot of power. And then you go to the physics and the quantum, the inertia, the velocity, like all the laws. So you answer to law. Body, we answer laws, and the law of gravity, the law of whatever, So velocity, speeds, everything is coming from the control of your breath and the control of your fascia. And if deeply you want to bring it to your, your psyche, you can control your mind with your breath.
Right.
Then you can control your emotions.
Right.
And if you control your emotion, you control your choices. And if you control your choices, you control your life. Because what's your life? It's just the accumulation of the consequence of your choices.
Right.
Good choices, good life. Bad choices, see? So how interesting is it? Everything it's in one, universe, interconnected with all the knowledge and all the,
yes,
the entities that made human.
Right.
Physics, mind, soul, because you speak about spirituality, this is the soul,
Absolutely.
So what's the role of the soul, what's the role of the brain, what's the role of the body, how we connect them.
Absolutely.
This is the thing,
Absolutely. That's what I've gotten so curious about. And you mentioned about being able to control the emotions. And that, again, bringing it back to psychology, that's where I just started to go, wait, there has to be more, because I was learning that if it wasn't measurable, if it wasn't measurable by technology, or if it wasn't measurable, then it didn't have any base or foundation of being able to study it, even recognizing that memory is fallible. So basically, psychology, as I was learning throughout the human experience, and went, well, we can't really measure that, so we can't put it into action. But one of the things that I also like to say to that is that just because we don't have the technology to be able to measure something doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And to say that about love, right? You can say, I love my children, I love my parents, I love my work, and it's like very different kinds of love. But to say that simply because we don't have a tool of measurement to really measure what's going on there, you can't really say that love doesn't exist. And so I believe that the human body is absolutely such an extraordinary form of technology, for lack of a better term, that we really almost take for granted, and it gets lost on us because we are humans and because we have this body. But what you're talking about is being able to learn so much more about how the entire system works to really be able to, I kind of get exhausted by talking about maximizing potential, but it's also maximizing this human experience. What is it that, our soul originally decided to come into this world to experience? And I think there's so many things that we can learn about, what you're saying is learning how all of the systems overlap to kind of...
break limited beliefs, basically,
Right.
Yeah, but that's, I guess, is the purpose of all the alternative medicine, or what we call alternative medicine. They're actually the oldest proven medicine.
Right.
Is Chinese.
That went on for thousands of years.
And just yoga, the Vedas, Ayurveda. It healed billions of people already. But there is other ways to measure love, for example.
Right.
Not with the machine, not with the... you can scale it somehow, by action. If you love your children, what can I do? How you can? We say love is not words; it's only proof of love, But the problem when you are too scientific, And it's not a problem. I mean, we say problem is not a problem, but as soon as the equation is done, you don't look after. Right? So this is like about what you say, you have a certain tool to monitor, to measure, but if it doesn't fit into that, but then we just consider like either it's out of reach, either doesn't exist, basically.
Right.
And that's why quantum physics came after the physics.
It's so exciting to me.
We don't have answers to this, but still we know it exists.
Right.
But the traditional mathematics doesn't help finding. So what we do theory. See, because the beginning of quantum physics is just like theories, you know. You don't even need to prove it at the end, you know. You just have to keep on making a possible theoretical things to explain what it's there,
right,
but doesn't have explanation yet.
Right.
Like life.
Yeah.
We're here, no one knows why we're here. Do you know someone who, I don't know.
I have some theories.
Yeah, it's
and I know there's like, yeah, it's like a drop in the pond.
Yeah, but it's not the truth. It's like
right.
that.
Right.
It's a belief. So
right.
you can believe. Let's say believing something a lot, it doesn't make it real.
Right.
I mean, it make it real for you.
Right.
Just enough, almost of the time. But it doesn't make it a reality.
They say that a belief is a thought that you keep thinking.
Yeah.
And that's it.
But what if others doesn't think that? It's
right.
not the reality. I mean, that's what I'm telling you. No one knows why we're here. This is like, we have all the civilization, from the Incas to the Egyptians to the Vikings to all the beliefs, will have only one objective: to actually answer this question: why we're here. So they create beliefs, they create religion. We all feel there is something, even if we don't believe. We feel that it cannot be just this. There's a force who brought everything together and keep everything together.
Right.
But we don't know. And that's the beauty of it, you know. It's like the end of the movie. If you know the end, do you really want to watch the movie? No, life, it's like, you know, you don't want to know.
Right.
Like, honestly, like, your life would be wasted, really.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
You need to discover, you need to learn.
My mind just went in a tangent around thinking of like Quentin Tarantino movies where you see the end first and then you kind of go around into this whole mix of how does it happen.
You know where you're going, at least.
Right. Well, it's like we know how we got, or we know that we are here, but how did we get here, you know? And then
we actually know where we're going. That's for sure.
So I have a big question for you because you posted something on socials quite a while ago that really, really caught my attention. You were buried in the sand for an hour. And I read the caption on it, but I was absolutely enthralled and so curious and really like personally interested. But can you tell me a little bit about what that experience was and how it came to you? Because that's not, I guess it's a little bit more usual here in Dubai, but it's not a usual global experience.
Absolutely no, it's not usual at all. No? So it started with my friend. I have a very good friend. He's one of the Sheikh of Ajman. Who become one of my closest friends. And he's been doing that for many years. He explained me, Sheikh Abdulaziz, that traditionally his grandfather or great-grandfather, when they were traveling, for example, to Mecca and crossing the desert, they were so exhausted once they arrived. Because now it's not like with a plane. They're walking at the back of camel and horses, like traveling even 100 kilometers back in the days was like absolutely, like traumatic for the mind, for the body. So when you arrive in your destination, for example, if you arrive to sell your product or to do your pilgrimage, or you need to have a minimum of energy. You cannot just arrive and then, like sleep for 1 week.
Right.
So they found the sand burial. So they actually bury your body into the sand. So from what I understood back in the days, it was actually spending the night over. And then waking up in the morning fresh, like they didn't travel. And then I was like, okay, I didn't. It's not that I don't believe. I didn't know. I was like, how can just be? Because I think we'll all be buried, like on the beach, right. Nothing really
when we can still like move our fingers and
It's not the same thing at all. No.
Yeah.
They bury you until the neck.
Right. And so can you like move your toes at all even, or is it so tight?
You cannot really move it.
Okay.
And the more you move, the more you sink in.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's the sand in Dubai, in the UAE, it's almost like a powder.
Yeah.
So it's like, imagine...
And it's heavy. It's like
very
heavy and it's cold.
And it's rising the pressure. It's cold, it depends. Yeah. I mean, it's actually adjust to your body temperature. Like, this is pretty interesting.
Right.
So on the physical aspect of it, there's something called the gravity.
Right.
So when you have 100 kilos of sand on top of your body, it pressures you, right? The more you move, the more you sink in and the more you constrict. So it's like a boa constrictor that more you try to move, more it like squeeze you in, so you don't want to move.
Oh my gosh.
Honestly, it's a real test for yogis, for everyone who believe they calm. Let's see how they are.
Right.
Because you cannot lie.
This is why it got my attention. There's nothing to fake in that kind of experience.
Either you stay, either you don't. And the amount of time when you just want to say, help me. Take me out here. Because at the beginning, you have a lot of anxiety because you're like, this, and you feel your heart squeezing and your chest. You just want to go, and then the more you go, and then you just want to scream. I swear, how many times I was about to say, help me. So how to go further? I give you my technique. Just count 10. And every 10, you say, okay, I'm going to ask someone to take me out after 10. Okay. I can handle 10. I'm good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 10. Okay. It's good. I'm going to count again 10, but right after the 10, I'm going to ask for help.
Right.
And again, you just go like this and you're good. So, and 10 seconds turn into a minute and 10 minutes. And then, and at some point, what's hard is the first 5 minutes to 10 minutes.
Right. Because the panic sets in, right? Like the claustrophobia, the trust, like
how to describe? And just your organ, you feel your organ compress everything. It's really, really under pressure, and what you feel is like you cannot escape. And this is the worst part. They cannot just jump out of it and say, "Okay, can say if you want to go, you have to scream at me."
Right.
And then you have to take the sun out. So this is really bad. But something happened after 15-20 minutes. You don't want to leave. You actually understand the meaning of surrender, which is a big thing in yoga and in many things. Because if you don't surrender, you cannot see. Right? When you start surrender, then you start to hear your heartbeat. You can listen to your breath. You can actually picture what's happening inside the body. And all this pressure is actually warming up your body. It's decreasing your blood pressure. It's healing your body, especially if you have some scar tissues, because it's actually calling blood flow in this specific area. For example, if you break your ankle, after 15 minutes, your ankle will start to warm up much more than the rest of the body. And this is incredible. So the benefits of it, it's really on the physical level. On your mind control, it's also something.
Yeah.
And you just feel good. And at some point, maybe after 20 minutes, 25 minutes, you just want to leave because you become a part of the sand.
Right.
And when you start looking at the infinite dunes, you are the dunes. And this is very unusual. Also, it puts you into the state that you're going to be buried, most probably, when you're going to die. So it's you die a little bit, so you accept to die a little bit.
Right.
So it makes you humble. Because you accept to lose a little bit of your freedom, a little bit of your time, a little bit. So it's a lot of things going on. I can explain for hours really what I felt. Now, I lost my mother 2 months before I did my first experience 2 years ago. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
And I was in a very bad state,
Wow.
And plus, after a long...
Talk about facing something.
And it was not just the loss. It's like it was years of, battling... diseases and upside down, and I was really at the end of my energy. Right. So I sent my wife and kids back to a holiday for a month, and I needed really to. And this happened in this period. And I cannot explain, but right after, I kind of let my mother go. Somehow. Right. I felt that the gravity was like sucking up all the sadness, all the guilt, all the negative energy, all the anger, all the frustration. So when they remove you from the sand, there's two things happening. The first thing, you feel so light. You want to jump because you've been suffering from the weight of the gravity. You just want to jump everywhere. It's physically light. Right. Second thing, you feel good, but very good.
Like cleansed.
Clean,
deeply.
your emotional backpack is lighter. Definitely, like really, it's very strong feeling. I never had this feeling before. I tried a lot of different therapy, a lot of medical, non-medical. This is real,
right,
and straightforward. They bury you. You fight your life off to stay.
Right.
When they want to take you out, you don't want to leave. And when you leave the sand, you feel like a new man. And I can show you. I actually have 2 pictures on the same day. Before, I'm gray. See, I have dark circle.
Yeah.
I'm gray. I mean, you can feel I'm carrying a lot on my shoulder.
Yeah.
And after, I'm bright. I don't have the dark circle. It's like 25 minutes, you know.
Right.
And the first time was not that long. I just felt so good. I think there is incredible. The earth element also definitely healing. Look at the electricity. You know, if you put electricity in the sand, it sprayed and disappeared. So we are water.
Yeah.
Our nervous system is electricity. So we are charged from, like positive ions, negative ions, like neutrons. We have a lot of... So the fact that they bury you, I guess, is discharging you from all the static energy that is stuck inside your organs. So physically, you feel better, really.
I want to do this so bad.
You have to do it. Come with me next time. Actually, I haven't done it since I did in October, I guess. So I'm looking forward to do it again, maybe after Ramadan. Yeah.
That I absolutely love just things like that in general in life. That it's like where we meet our edges and we're pushed to that limit, and we have to face it to get to the other side. There's no way out, It's like there's something that is viscerally going to change within us for the rest of our lives after having that kind of an experience, right? Because once you learn something, especially that physically, it's like left in your encoding forever.
Yeah. It's not just memory. It's inside your cells. Yeah.
Right.
All your cells remember.
That's so incredible. So in that space as well, did you feel the connection to your soul? Did you feel a connection to a higher power? Did you feel a connection to source? And did that come through at any of those moments or experiences?
Yeah, I guess, It comes as you mentioned, in life sometimes we don't have choice, we have to deal with things. And this is where actually we meet our true self. I was training with the Russian Special Forces for some time, and one of the training... They blindfold you. They make you believe that they're gonna hit the shit out of you, eat the crap out of you, eat you very strongly,
Okay.
And you are just here, standing in a cold gymnasium, surrounded by people who promise you to punch you, kick you, push you, and just waiting for this to happen, and it doesn't happen.
Interesting.
And you they hold you for 3 minutes or 5 minutes. You feel like you are there for the rest of your life. It's a form of torture,
Right.
My point is that there is some things in life when you cannot lie to yourself, and I think I explained it many times already on some of my talks. Fighting, can't lie. You can train all your life, right? Have the black belt, gold medal of whoever, whatever sports. But if one day someone's 2-3 people, for example, let's say 2 people attack you to rob your watch or to rape you, or what thing horrible can happen, mainly in Europe or maybe in US here. So it's quite difficult. But there's a very simple fact: there's someone who wants to hurt you and you. So your past doesn't really matter, and who you are, who you represent, how many belts do you have, how many medal. It's a simple equation: a punch, a fist, and a face. So how are you going to handle that?
Yeah.
So that's the hard knock reality, doing handstand, for example. Also, there's no gray. Either you balance, either you fall. But
you do or you don't. Yeah.
There's a Turkish saying who say you cannot be half pregnant.
Okay.
But the problem in our daily life, we live in a gray. Everything is gray. We are this, but also this. We are that, and also that. We want this, but also this. And I guess it's normal to have a gray zone,
Right.
But it's good also to know there's white and there is black. Being buried in the sand, either you stay, either you leave.
Right.
Doing handstand, either you balance, either you don't. Fighting, either you go home in one piece, either you don't. There's few things like this in life, really. And this is where you meet yourself.
Right.
You meet who you are. And this is where you understand the difference between responding and reacting.
Right.
Right? If you get buried, you want to react. No, me, what's happening? You have all this voice inside your head telling you, you're going to stay there. Why you here? Why are you doing that? This is ridiculous. You're suffering. A lot of things. And you can decide to lower the voice or amplify the voice. And this is your decision. So,
right.
I mean, can tell your boss, can you whisper?
Okay, so that's the interesting thing, right? Is that you're saying you have all these thoughts, you have all this basically like a factory that's creating all sorts of stuff,
Panic.
chaos, mental chaos. But then you said you can decide. So what is the part of you that gets to decide what thought to kind of grab onto and what thought to like control into a different path?
I think it's clear for me now. I didn't know, I could not answer this question a few years ago. I guess what's make you panic is your mind. Mind really, really, really sensitive and very strong. So that's why it can take over. What makes you calm is your soul, is your free will. If the voice of your soul, of who you are, of your character, is stronger than your mind, your life is good.
Right.
Really, because you will not react through panic. You will react through, you don't react, actually. You will respond. There's a problem. You find a solution. You look for it. So you have less stress. According to Jeff Bezos, stress is when you don't take action.
Right.
See? So the less you do, the more you stress about it now. But if you respond quickly, then you don't leave, room for stress. So how do you listen to the good voice? Let's put it this way. Okay. Any voice in your head, you can decide to amplify them or ask them to whisper. Okay, say your name now in your own head.
Sitara, in my head.
In your head.
Okay.
Yeah? Just like say your name. Now scream your name. Now whisper your name. Could you do it?
Yes.
And you just control your mind.
Right.
So when something is arising here and say, no, don't do it, it's gonna break. Like,
right.
Relax.
Right.
You have to be able to, your soul has to be able to say to your mind, relax. Because the problem, if your mind starts to panic, was the next chain, your body. Body will react in a very bad way.
Right.
If you keep on reacting, you can even like develop cancer or like mental disease or, this, the body is neutral. The body will do what you want. I mean, the body is here to serve us. Like,
right.
Really. The mind is deciding. So if you let your mind deciding about everything without, having the wisdom of listening through the soul. See, for me, soul is wisdom. That's why I understand when people say, I don't necessarily believe in reincarnation. I don't think it's really my belief. But for me, reincarnation is DNA, most likely, because you are coming from your parents and grandparents, so you have this affiliation. So I really believe that some of the soul has some wisdom, not necessarily gain into this life, but as a transmission from, like previous life, not necessarily their life, but the experience of others and of the grandparents. So for me, the soul is the voice of wisdom, right? The mind is the agitation.
Right.
And the body is neutral, right? So this is what I think I understand from human being. And I think, because this is my understanding now, maybe it's
right.
But it seems quite right with all the situation that I've seen so far.
So I'd love to add a little bit to that, my own personal experience. Because like I said, when I was in Sunday school, I was like, where'd we come from? Like, how did I get here? And as I started to learn how to connect with my soul very consciously, right? Because there's the awareness of the soul, but then there's, okay, now the mind is actually having a conversation with the soul, and the soul is having a conversation with the mind. And once that relationship starts to become fortified, I think life starts to become a lot different. And I had this meditation where I was led back to my moment of birth, back to the third trimester when I was in utero, back to the second trimester when I was in utero, back to the first trimester. And this was before my parents even knew they were pregnant. So that was like a whole other consciousness and awareness that are actually memories that we have. We like to think that we don't have these memories, but on a soul level, the memories were there because you experienced them, or on a body level, they're there because your body experienced it.
Random access memories, yeah.
Right. So it's like, how do we find that? Well, then what was really interesting was that we also went back to the moment of conception. And we know that biologically, scientifically, they've been able to show that when sperm meets egg, there's a moment of light. There's a moment of illumination. And so what I could see in the moment of my memories was that there was father's DNA, mother's DNA, and then also the soul lineage. So the soul, the consciousness that was me, that is me, also came in with an extraordinary set of information and data. Because both my parents look at me and they're like, where did you get this? Where did this come from? It didn't come from her. It didn't come from him. So like, what's going on here? And that was really what I was starting to understand and accept even about myself, because so much of my life has been like, how can I do the things that I do? Like, who am I? You know, I've had those feelings of my destiny when I was little, but those experiences started compounding of the awareness that there is mother's DNA and there is father's DNA and there is an extraordinary amount of wisdom and trauma that's passed down from both lineages. But then simultaneously that there's a set of consciousness that comes within the making of our own DNA. And I really do believe, that's one aspect that biology or science hasn't yet been able to have the technology to prove. So maybe I'm speaking ahead of my time. Maybe I'm talking shenanigans. But from what I've been able to see for myself is that lineage of light that is the makeup of like our destiny or our purpose is also encoded before the moment of incarnation. And so there's like a lot that I've spent my life like focusing on that piece of curiosity and how can I share that with more people so that we can access those memories more readily.
Interesting. Yeah, it's like a cloud.
Right. Right. And so like even what you were saying with the fascia and being able to connect into the body in different ways, I do believe that some of those, especially very early childhood memories, because psychology says, well, 0 to 3 years old are the most impressionable years of your life. We often think, well, we didn't remember them, so they're not going to remember that. But it's the most impressional developmental stages of our personality. And I also believe that in some ways, some of those like limitations that we have are even actually like held, almost fragmented in time in that space. But I like what you were saying about the fascia and knowing how the fascia works, because if that encoding went into, let's say, the database, the neural network of our body, then we can move our body through yoga. Or like I've had some crazy memories come up when I'm doing yoga or EFT tapping that can bring so much freedom. Like so much freedom and liberation in the body.
No, I mean, it's perfectly scientific. You know, the cells are water. So when it was the cells, basically, it's the nucleus. You know,
right.
You have the plasma and the membrane. So the plasma is 80% of every cell.
Right.
So it's the state of it. It's liquid.
Right.
And what's memory, what's neuron, what's its electrical connection. So if you look what a neuron look like, it's like this and this. It's like a network, you know.
Right.
And when you look at the fascia, this is what I told you, it's like a web, you know. And what inside it's cells, and what inside cells is DNA, and what stimulates the protein, electricity. So it has a lot of, you know. That I mean, it's what you're saying is your point of view. It's what you experience.
Right.
It actually makes sense, and it's hard maybe to prove, but what we said at the beginning is not because you cannot prove that it isn't there, but it's not impossible to prove as well.
Right.
Maybe in terms of technology or in terms of, I mean, that's why, you see, to go back a bit to these words, you have the word, let's say, of scientific people who really believe only what is this.
Right.
You have the believer who believe whatever they have in their heart, and you have the balanced people, I would say. I mean, almost of the people are like this, thanks God. Like extremists.
Right.
Full
spectrum here.
It will be complicated. But a lot of people, I'd say a high majority are like this.
Right.
Even if you don't really realize, but everyone is a bit spiritual, everyone is a bit scientific, you know. And you have experts who really push the so you keep on saying why. This is like interesting. So this is your motivation, you know. Actually, me too. We all want to know why.
Right.
The only difference after yoga, what I thought is like, even if I don't understand why, it's still okay. So I'm not trying to find answer to everything.
Right.
And it makes me more relaxed, really. Like, maybe some answer we cannot find.
Right.
So I don't want to waste my time trying always to look for something that maybe doesn't exist yet or doesn't have the answer yet, or I won't be able to figure out. I'll just still move on. So that's the meaning of surrender to me. Like, okay, it's good to wonder, but it's also good to move on. It's all about balance. At the end of the day, see, for every discipline, for every thinking, we always return into balance. It needs to be balance. See, and even as like a psychological like student, I don't know, like talk about like someone who studied the psychology. We always refer to balance. Also, is the mind balance? So what does it mean? Is it like maybe 50% mind decision and 50% soul? And so the balancing is everything. I guess the balance is changing,
right?
According to your age, according to your life. When you have family, it's different. When you're alone and when in same life. Actually, I'm writing something. I speak about couples. I have a lot of questions about that. And the main thing that comes to me is like when two entities, a man and a woman, or man, woman, like let's say two entities decide to make a couple, what they don't understand is that they're creating a new entity.
Right.
So the first entity needs to give away maybe 30 to 40% of what makes them so they can create a new entity.
Right.
And usually couple who doesn't go together, who doesn't last, is because one of the entity, one of the person, is not ready to sacrifice.
Right.
Again, we go back to this notion of sacrificing, how important it is to sacrifice. And the couple who usually work well, that means both entities, both individuals, they accept that their life will change at least 30 to 40%. They will lose 30% of who they are, what they have now, so they can build another entity, which get more complicated when you have kids as well, because, So it has to do with the balance, has to do with being ready to sacrifice. You don't learn anything in your comfort zone, so the sacrificing means also being out of your comfort zone.
Right.
So you can
the comfort zone
grow.
is what you know.
Yeah, and it's not really make you grow.
Right.
Did you learn anything ever in your life when you're too comfortable on something?
Maybe that I'm too comfortable.
Yeah. You usually learn when shit happens.
Right? That's something, I'm like, it's comfortable here.
That's one of the good things, Like Tony Robbins was speaking about problems. Like, I love to have problems. Having problem is life. That means you're going to learn something. Like, eventually, and finding solution is like taking action, towards the problem.
Right.
And once again, you don't react, you respond. And more you respond, more you have choices. And your life, it's the consequence of your choices. So that's why having problem and solving problem is also a part of life.
So you mentioned something here about yes, when couples come together, that there is a certain element of, losing something to, let's say, the relationship bond that happens. And yeah, I can absolutely understand that as well. And I think that this is just kind of like an opinion, just kind of noticing what's going on in the dating world in modern times, is that we're also not recognizing that how the combination of what is created by that harmonization and what is given to each other actually multiplies and benefits in the relationship and in the longevity and in the capabilities and what can be created and what potentials start opening up when it actually multiplies, rather than, well, I had to give this up, so now there's a piece of me that's missing, rather than, well, now there's a piece of me that's growing in a really beautiful way that I wouldn't be able to recognize even on my own. Right. That I find that there's a beauty in recognizing that there's certain people that bring out certain things in us.
I definitely agree. But the only thing, you have to experience it. It's not something that you can actually plan.
Right.
You have to experience it.
Absolutely.
For you to see. Being ready to change, I guess that's the key. Understanding it. So this is what you have to teach to people. This is...
And being willing.
Yeah,
to see what's there.
This first cycle, and by introducing a new entity, your cycle will change. So you will change. So you'll be a new entity. So whether you accept to change or no. But this is what's gonna make you successful into a relationship. And it has also to do with ego, being humble, because at the end of the day, people don't want to change.
Right.
I mean, the
It's
ego
also
is
the
taking
point of
over.
attraction. What is the mirror the person's holding up? And all the things.
It's like ego is a very bad advisor, really. No, really. Like if you do
You should make that a bumper sticker.
No, I mean, it is. if you listen to, so a lot of people, they will mistake ego with dignity, for example, or with pride. No, I mean, you can be very proud,
Yes.
and you can keep your dignity, but the ego will always, making you do the bad choice. The ego will make you react,
Right.
not respond.
Right.
See?
The fire the fire amplifier, for sure.
Yeah, so it when you can actually respond with dignity and respond with proud and respond with keeping your values, but
Right.
reacting, bad. Strongly advise not to react.
I love
It goes
that.
bad.
So I have so thoroughly enjoyed this conversation.
Same
Really,
here.
thank you so much for being here. Is there any final thought, final prayer, final word that you would like to leave all of us on today?
Leave your ego in your pocket.
I love that.
No, really. No, I just really I like to encourage people to meditate, but not necessarily meditated formally. Just to take some time out of the routine during the day, 5 minutes, just sitting somewhere, and listen. Listen to themselves, listen to the world, listen to other people, listen.
Listen to what's there.
Yeah. I think we speak a bit too much. Really. I mean, me the first. So I'm learning as well to listen more. So
Beautiful.
Listen. And listen to your soul.
I love this. Well, beautiful. It's been such a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Where can we find you? If anyone who's listening wants to connect a little bit more with your work, what's the best way to find you?
The best way is through Instagram, Allaoua Yoga. You can send me a DM religiously. How do you say this word again?
You nailed it. Religiously. Yeah.
Religieusement in French.
There you go.
Religiously answer to my DM, even if it takes some time. But I guess it's the easier.
Beautiful.
And I always post, where I'm going to be next, what going to be my next talk, my next activation. So
Beautiful. Well, again, thank you so much for your
Thank you so much.
time and presence. It's been an honor getting to know you.
Same here.
I'm excited to be buried in the sand and planting
I'll
that
take you
seed.
next time.
Amazing. Well, we'll close with a prayer. As we go forth, may we integrate the healing and the lessons received with courage, self-love, and compassion. Our session here is very much in love and very much complete. Thank you once again for coming, and we'll see you again next time.
Amen.
Thank you, Angel, for entering this sacred conversation with me today. If this transmission touched something within you, there's so much more waiting. You can step deeper into this work through our digital courses, each one designed to awaken remembrance and guide you into your next expansion. You'll find them inside the Temple of Monad Academy, linked in the show notes. And if you'd love to stay connected with my current offerings, daily transmissions, and behind the veil teachings, join me over on Instagram at sitara.speaks. That's where I share what's alive in the field right now. So until we meet again, remember, you are the embodiment of ancient light in modern form. Thank you again for connecting today, and I look forward to the next time we meet.